at the plan for today. So we will dive a little in the ticketing and request structure. We will see how customer satisfaction score is calculated in the ORDIN, which approach do we use, and go live session where we can see how everything works, how the data is collected, how we monitor work executors, how we monitor subcontractors, and the last but not least, we monitor your customers, your tenants or residents satisfaction in ORDIN. So a brief overlook at the request structure. Apart from like general ticketing software, in ORDIN we have data structure which is sharply connected to the building. So you have different types of users who file the requests, who dispatch them, who are responsible for receiving work orders. The requests are shared between services and categories. So depending on what kind of request you have, for example, electricity or cleaning, you always can adapt the routing. You can implement different rules for the request, so it can be totally and seamlessly integrated in your business workflows. So, and of course, the structure of the building is also connected over requests, so you can always see the premise, the room where these requests are connected with, where the works are performed. You can track the expendables, you can attach photos, and of course documents. You can receive documents, you can attach, for example, manuals for the equipment maintenance. So everything is connected here. If we have a brief look on the routing, on the general routing process of the request, it's pretty simple. Nothing really complicated here. So first of all, the customer or your colleague, like anyone who have access to the mobile app or to the web portal, can create the request, set up the category, the service, add photos from camera. We'll see how it works today. Then the dispatcher can accept request, or the request can be filed automatically for depending on the category. For example, if it's connected with electricity, it will be filed to the electrician. If it's connected with plumbing, it will file to plumber automatically. So it's for you to decide. Then in the processing stage, executor takes photos of the problem that he's solving, and then he attaches the results. So how the works were completed. So you always can see the before and after status on the photos and connect it to the room where this happened. But the last stage is the status, which is called done. At that point, the person who filed the request has to set his satisfaction score in order to control the feedback. So every request, every issue that is happening inside the building always should be assessed. The feedback should be taken from the sender. And afterwards, only after that, the request is going to archived status. So everything that happens inside the building requires inputting the satisfaction score, and we'll see how it can be calculated, and we'll see how it works inside the software. So there are basically two different approaches in CSAT measuring. First approach is connected with like percentage. For example, you take total responses, which is given by the customer, which is like where maximum is 10 and minimum is 1, where 1 is like terrible, which means that everything is very bad, and 10 is perfect, like when the work was completed perfectly. Then we take all the responses given and split it by total possible response scores. So for example, if you have, let's have a look here, if you have like 35, like you have 5 responses, you have maximum possible responses, in this case, 50. Then you split 35, which is the sum of all the real responses, and you split it by maximum, and then you get the percentage of the satisfaction approach. It's quite simple, but the result is very again, simple, also very straightforward. Which result is can be considered to be good? This depends on the practices of your company, of your facility management company, or property management company. Usually, we aim to have a satisfaction score around 80. But if we have a look at the STARS approach, and this is the approach that is used in ORDIN, it basically, for the customers and for the employees, this approach is much more visually acceptable. It's much more simple and relevant. So everybody got used for those approaches. For example, STARS rating is used by Uber, is used by Bolt, or all modern companies. So the approach basically is the same. We give a total stars given and total possible stars, split it by total possible stars, and then multiply by 5, and where we have more accurate rating, and which is more readable and more understandable by everyone. So in our company, in ORDIN facility management software, we use STARS approach. So if we have a look, now we can switch to the software. Okay, let's go to our web version. So here we have the requests, and the requests in the request module here, there can be filed from the web app using this form, or, which is more convenient for the customers, can be filed by the mobile app. So I think at the first stage, we'll create a report through the mobile app of ORDIN. Now I need to share my screen, where I hope everything will work fine here. It will take a second. Okay, so we are here in
Excuse me, there is a small. I hope the network will be now. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we have.
It was just 2 seconds of interruption.
2 seconds of interruption.
Yeah.
Okay. So currently, I think there's a problem with the screen sharing in our network. So, okay, let's try it again. And here it is. Now everything is fine. So here, Anna, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Everything's fine. Yeah, we can see your mobile application.
Yeah. Currently, we are inside the mobile app where we can work with the requests. For example, here, any person who has access, tenant, customer can create a new, or employee can create a new request, select a category. For example, we have a problem with cleaning. We have problems with the common areas cleaning. We can pick the date, which is fine, which is set by the default. We said, for example, today is really rainy in Tallinn, so it's quite usual that we have a wet floor. We attach a photo of the problem. If we need to attach more photos, in our recent version of the app, you can add more photos, but currently one is enough. We pick our meeting room where we're currently in. Okay, it's here. And we can also set up a company who is sending, if you need to, if you're sending from a different company, for example, if you are a property manager, but you're sending a request on behalf of the tenant. So voila, the request is sent. We can go inside, we can see the photos. As we mentioned in the previous webinars, we can also file the comments. So let's please do it ASAP as usual. So all the information is stored and synchronized between mobile app and web app that you use on the browser. We won't go deep into the request processing today because we have a separate webinar in our YouTube platform and our website, which you can see, where we covered the whole details of the request processing. So we currently just go on. So the new request is created. We can go back to our web app. So can you please, Anna, confirm that we see that our that web app is visible on the screen?
Yes, we can see now Ordin web application.
Yeah, good. So now we are back and we have this request here. As you can see, the same information that we filed from our mobile app, from our phone is here, the photos, the whole details, the description, and the comments. Also, can add here some more comments. I can set up a progress. So, and add some assets, spare parts, add some templates, add some documents, for example, here. So it's quite easy to do. And now we are back to the requests list. And if everything's fine, we can accept the dispatcher accepts the request. And the status is changed to accepted. The same happens in the mobile app. So the person who filed the request receives the push notification or email notification about the status of his request. So we can start the execution, select the person who will perform, add some comments here also. Please do the cleaning. Okay, basically the same action can be done through the mobile app. So if the dispatcher or the cleaning manager is on the go, he just launches the web app and processes the requests also here. So it's also possible to do it here. So the same thing, the finish, process, and everything is available. All the actions are available on the mobile app. But we will go back to our web application. So again, please notify that the whole actions that are made throughout the issue is logged here with the time, with the person who done it. So basically, any issue, anything that happens inside the building can be controlled and can be monitored here. So if there's some problems with the request, you can always see the person who's responsible when he did it, what kind of action he did, what kind of like files he added. So everything is tracked here. So now let's close the app. Also close the request also from the mobile app. So we log in as an engineer. Okay, good. So we log in as an engineer. We see that the request is on the processing stage, and the engineer, and in our case, not an engineer, but a cleaning lady, for example, or a cleaning manager, he confirms that the works can be completed. The floor is not wet, it's dried, everything's fine. If you need some kind of document to confirm from the customer that the works are completed, you can also add it here. You can add a comment if you want, and you finish the work. So again, the whole information is logged. The whole all the documents are inside. Everything is tracked. Everything is one place, which is very comfortable, and no extra clicks. So now we can see what happens on the back. Again, all the tenants, all the customers, they have access both to the mobile app on iPhones and Android phones, which is available from App Store and Google Play, which is free, or they can also work through the web app, through their browser, their computer. So now currently, if the tenant sees, the customer sees that the works are completed, it's done, but it doesn't go to the archive, because last, again, but not least, and the most important part should be done, and it's directly connected with customer success monitoring. In order to close the request, either from mobile app, either from web app, there always should be set the satisfaction score. So is it good or not? For example, it's not really good. The floor is still dry in our case. So we set up like so good rating. The customer writes that it's still dry. It's still dry. So and at that point, the requests go to the archive, but its satisfaction rating over here is set 3.5, and the manager and the executor immediately sees that in his notification or in his app that there was some problem, and he can like react on it much faster. So every request, as you can see here, here in the archive, every request has a satisfaction rating, which makes you, gives you a possibility to control and react on the quality of the requests very fast. Again, as you can see, we use star ratings for this. So, and this is the basics for covering customer satisfaction score. So what gives us that we get this rating? First of all, let's see how it looks again from the mobile app. So it's quite similar to the like modern apps that you normally use, for example, Uber, again, like Bolt. So the customer also can close the requests here and leaving a rating which he thinks is relevant. So thanks, everything's fine. We have like 5 stars. And at that point, when you have all the requests are the rating is set up, the rating is controlled, gives you 3 core possibilities, 3 core reports. First of all, you can, by filtering by executor, you can control okay, we can control the quality of the requests. But if you go to the users page here, you can see that every technician has his own calculated rating based on the request that he has completed for the last year. So here we accumulate all information about the quality of the works which have been completed by that person. So when you see that the rating of the technician is low, you can perform some measures. You can talk to him, try to understand why this happened, what's wrong. And if the rating is good, like here, for that guy, you can encourage him and give him some bonuses. So for every technician, for every person, you have his rating. And also the person knows that he has rating, which motivates him to perform better. On the other hand, you can control the companies and the tenants. For example, if we go and see that this company has satisfaction score 4.5, which means that the tenant is currently okay. like he is satisfied, and he is satisfied with the building, with the quality of the facility and management services. But if the rating is low, you can perform preventive measures. You can go and talk to the tenant. You can check his requests and try to understand like what's going on, what's happening, why the tenant or the customer sends really bad feedback. So on the one hand, you control the employees. On the other hand, you control the satisfaction rate of the tenant. So basically, if you go to the report of the company, you can see that I think we need to relog in because I'm using incorrect user. Just a second, it will take a couple of minutes to relog in here. Okay, and go back to the requests. The requests archive, find our company, search. So we filter and find all the requests of the companies and see where the rating is low. This is how you discover the reasons why the company satisfaction is low. Satisfaction rate is low. Basically, you can also see it. Something wrong with the login here. You can also see it in the company's information page. Just a second here. Okay, and here on the company's page, you also see the success rating. So this is how you work with the companies. In the same way, you work with your technicians with their satisfaction score. So this gives you two possibilities. So in terms of, again, working of the request, from my advice that I can give here when dealing with the bad ratings with the employees, the first step shouldn't be just penalty or punishing the person. First step should be discovery. You go through the issues, you go through the history of the works that completed by that person, and try to understand, watching on the comments of the tenants, try to understand why he's performing bad. And the common approach that the bad feedback to an employee should be done in private. So that the rating is low, first of all, talk to person, investigate, try to understand the reasons. And when the performance of the employee is high, the general approach is to give bonuses and to encourage him in public, so everybody see who is performing better. So bad feedback goes in private, good feedback in public, so the whole team can see the best performers and align with them. Again, in terms of working with customers' feedback, first of all, again, investigation, monitoring bad work orders, bad requests, and like acting preventively, not waiting for the customer to give you a bad feedback or to close the contract when something bad happens. Be preventive, be predictive, go to a person, try to understand why the feedback of the tenant is bad. Because always talking to a person, talking to a company is always better than receiving and saying nothing and hiding head in the sands like an oyster. So communication, talking to persons, being responsive is really important in terms of working with CSAT. So if you are interested in how the ratings work, if you want to see how the software works, you can go to our webpage, start.ordin.com, or to our website, register your company there, register your building, and play around. We provide for 14 days a free trial where can you understand and touch like the interfaces, touch the software with your own hands, and try to work with your colleagues. So please welcome. And at that stage, me and my colleagues will help you and guide you through the software.